Hey, I hope you're having a great day. Welcome back to the channel. So why am I standing out here in front of the RV with our e-bikes and the Jeep? You might be able to guess it, but we need a solution for these things. We love our e-bikes. We love the fact that they fold. It fits well in RV life. However, folding these up and putting them in the back of the Jeep or putting them in that basement right there is a lot of work. So we need a solution for that, and we think we found the right answer. So stay tuned and find out what did we find. As I said in the intro, welcome back to the channel. We're BOUKENISADVENTU. I'm Ian. Debbie is busy right now. She didn't want to be part of this video, so you just get me today. But we are an RV adventure, family adventure channel, and we finally got our RV, a new to us RV, and we're ready to hit the road with our e-bikes. And as I said in the intro, we're looking for a solution for our foldable e-bikes to make it a little easier for us to hit on down the road. So if you like content like this, such as RV travel, RV adventures, e-bikes, or anything else associated with that, give us a like, a thumbs up, and subscribe. We definitely appreciate the support. So some of the things we had to consider when looking for an e-bike rack was these puppies right here. These are amazing e-bikes. They're built like tanks, dual suspension, but they are kind of on the heavy side. They're 77 pounds with a battery in it, and that's a lot to lift, even if it's folded into either the basement storage or into the back of the Jeep. We needed something to handle the weight of the two e-bikes, plus things such as fat tires. These are 4-inch wide tires, 20 inches tall, and was easy to use. And as I said before, we found that e-bike rack. So what did we find? We found from Young/OutfitR the 200-pound do-bike e-bike rack from them. Now, in full transparency, what had happened was they had noticed our content on YouTube and Instagram and reached out to us and asked if we'd like to do a collaboration deal and do a review, no strings attached, of their e-bike rack. And of course we said yes. So this showed up when I was out of town this week, so now it's time to put this together. And as I said earlier in the video, we wanted something that can handle the bike. So this handles 200 pounds, 100 pound per slide. Also had to be able to handle the fat tires, which you see all right there. Also something that would work well in both the RV. If we decide to leave the Toad at home, we can put in the receiver hitch there, and or put in the receiver hitch of our Toad, the Jeep, whether we're either going off-road venturing that way or towing behind us and you put the e-bikes on that. This answered all of that in one e-bike rack. So let's get to it. Now let's get this thing unboxed. Now, things I always look at when getting something new, a product from a company or anything I'm purchasing, is how well it's packaged. That shows how much they care about the end user. And this is packed very well. So let's get this thing open here. So we got here's the ramp. I'll show you how that works later. So let's go here. Instructions, I guess I should follow those. This is the front wheel chock. Another one with the ratchet strap. Right there. Here are the rails. These are made out of aluminum. This is also for the rear tire right here, but lightweight aluminum, so this is going to cut down the amount of weight you have on your rig, whether it be your Toad, your regular vehicle, or the back of the RV. Especially if you're putting on the back of a travel trailer or on the back of a fifth wheel. Having a lightweight rack that's strong, I think, is very important. So you got the two bike rails there. A bunch of nice cardboard, keep everything together. Let's see what else we got in here. Go down here, get all the cardboard out. Here are the clamps that go in the support poles that go around the base of your seat to keep it from wobbling back and forth. Put those right there. Let's see what else we got in here. Here's the actual receiver part that goes into your receiver. I'll put this over here on top of this. Hope it doesn't get scratched. Here's the main frame. It does say 200-pound capacity. Nice powder-coated metal. I'm going to leave this in here. See if there's any parts in there. That's important. And here are your two support rails that are the vertical support rails. Let's get this open and see what kind of parts we have. So in here you got some Velcro straps to hold everything down. Some nuts to hold the assembly together. This is the pin that holds your ramp in the actual frame. And these are your mounting bolts to mount the receiver to your vehicle. So let's get to this. To make it a little easier on myself, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and stick this into the receiver. It is a 2-inch receiver, and assemble the rack on the back of the Jeep. I think that's the easiest way to do it. However you want to do it, you can do it on the ground or do it this way, but this is the way I'm going to do it. Now, I said before, I put this in a temporary. It's time to put this together, and I do not know why I picked the hottest day to put something like this together. It is so humid and hot today in South Texas, but do what you got to do, right? Pretty simple to do. They give you all the things you need except for the tools. Get the bolt in here that holds this part of the receiver in. You're gonna need 4 major tools. You need a crescent wrench and either wrenches or sockets for this assembly. A 17, 19, and a 24 millimeter. So I'm make sure I got that right. Let's go ahead and get this tightened up and together. I'm gonna speed this up so you don't have to sit there and watch me do this step by step and see where I mess up at. Wow, that is a lot easier than I thought it was going to be. I love it. Put a comment down below. Let us know, do you center the bike based on weight, or do you center just on the vehicle? Because you don't want too much weight on one side, always twisting on these racks, especially made out of aluminum. I'm going to try to balance it weight-wise without the battery. So put a comment down below, how do you do that? We'd be curious to find out. Now, I do like how these are adjustable. So this is now sitting down in the well. This is holding it tight. These have nice rubber pieces through here. So you're gonna mark up your wheel. Let's see, I'm gonna go right about there, so I need to go through here. Try to keep it straight. Oh. Let's go through this one right here. Put the rubber against here, so you don't mar up your wheel, and then just slide it through. There we go. And do the same thing for each wheel. Well, there you go. It is together. The bikes are on there. We're all cinched down. And I'm impressed with this bike rack. One is the weight of it, right? Being aluminum, so it's lightweight on the rail section. The rest of it is heavy gauge metal that is powder coated with really thick powder coat, which I like that. Hi, Gigi, come say hi. And a few things. One is 200-pound capacity, which I mentioned before. These e-bikes right here from Hinox happen to be 77 pounds with a battery in there. Doesn't hurt to have extra capacity on your bike rack because you don't want to go over the weight limit. These things can break because they do bounce up and down. That's part of life, right? Second thing is fat tire compatibility. This bike rack has that. It fits very well. Up to 5-inch fat tires will fit in this rack. These are 4-inch, 20-inch tires right here. 4-inch wide, 20 inches tall. Fits perfectly in there. And one of my favorite features, of course, is this ramp. So I don't have to pick the bike up. And it stores right here. Now, something that I might get down the road, I'll probably order here pretty soon, is they do make, though I think it attaches right here, they do make brake lights that you can put on here. I actually attach here, and I think here you put brake lights on here, so when your brake lights are obscured by the tires, or something, you have brake lights back here so someone doesn't rear end you. I think you need to order those. But that is some of the main reasons. The other main reason why we went with this particular bike rack is that it is RV rated. In other words, Outfitter and Young said when they designed this bike rack that it is RV compatible because they do realize when you put this in the back of an RV, whether it be a Class A, Class B, C, travel trailer, or fifth wheel, there's a lot of lateral movement as far as back and forth and up and down movement on these bike racks with a lot of weight, and it can stress not only your hitch, but the whole bike rack assembly and everything on there. So these are RV compatible, RV rated from Young and Outfitter. So that was very important to us also. And I won't show it right now, is that I showed earlier in the video. Also, when we don't have the e-bikes on here and we just want to store the rack without taking it off, it will fold up and out of the way so you can drive around in your towed vehicle or even the back of your RV without it sticking out and running into it, especially in the campground. Late at night, walk around the outside of the RV and you ran into it with your leg or knee. That'd be very painful. And those of us who ever ran into a trailer hitch, you know what I'm talking about. right now it looks like it is doing a pretty good job of keeping it centered. We'll go over a few bumps right here, see what this looks like. Looking pretty good. Nice stable bike rack. I do like that. Nice stuff. I want to see how much it's going to bounce around. This road is, of course, a residential road in our development. It is smooth, but it's not the smoothest. There are some dips and bumps, etc. So I was going to see how this would react. So final thoughts on this. It fits all of our needs. It handles both bikes. It has the capacity of 200 pounds. It fits our fat tire bikes, which we like. These are 4-inch tires, and it folds. The only thing I wish it did do was tilt down. This particular model does not, but OutfitR/Young does offer an e-bike rack that will tilt down. So the pros of this, it fits all of our needs, especially it's RV rated, which is very important to us. You see the Class A behind us, which we'll be doing a lot of traveling in. And we'll be towing this Jeep behind there with this e-bike rack on the back. So a couple things I want to add, of course, is going to be the brake lights. I'll add that on later on. Like I said, it meets all the needs we're looking for. So that's all the pros. Now the cons are that, not really any cons. So the cons I see with an e-bike rack designed like this and built like this for heavy duty use, in other words, carrying 200 pounds of e-bikes, is that they try to make it as light as possible, but they're still heavy. So to make it heavy duty, there's going to be some weight to that. So that's the only con I can see to this. So you like what you saw? You like about this e-bike rack here? I'll put a link down below for Young/OutfitR e-bikes, and they have a wide variety of not only e-bikes, but also have all these different racks, accessories, so go check them out. We're Bouken's Adventure. We hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please leave us a like, a comment, and a thumbs up. We would definitely appreciate it because it helps support the channel. With that said, we hope to see you out on the road.